I gotta say, honestly, I found last night pretty convenient in the grand scheme of things. But wait, first things first. Good morning and happy hump day, everybody. So yeah, I have been for those of you who are haven't been keeping up, I actually started watching The Voice. I've been watching I finished watching America's Got Talent, The Champions. About to watch the finale of The Masked Singer tonight. Wow, it's the finale. Okay, I'm actually going to be I get the feeling I'm probably going to be left crying when the finale is over, but that's just me. And so, you know what? Might as well watch The Voice. Now, I talked about, the auditions that happened on Monday night, and how The Voice works is there's like several weeks worth of auditions, but honestly the way it works is Monday they have auditions for 2 hours, but Tuesday they have auditions for 1 hour, which honestly, considering that The Voice starts at 8 and therefore 1 hour would obviously be 9, it's actually a lot better than having two hours in 2 hours, sorry, I'm trying to do the math in my head. It's 2 hours on Monday and 2 hours on Tuesday. That's actually, I'm glad that it's only 1 hour on Tuesday is what I'm trying to get at. That's enough content. It keeps us satisfied, but still kind of wanting a little bit more. 4 hours altogether, that'd be too much. Three's enough. Perfect amount. At least I feel that way. But with that said, I did say on Monday night I didn't really get much of an opportunity to watch I stayed up to around 9:30, so there were a few auditions that I did miss. But what I did see the next day, one audition that really stuck out was this one girl who's like 15 years old named Lily Joy, which is an awesome sounding name, by the way. And she sang Cool by Gwen Stefani, which, okay, I'm not the greatest with, pop culture and what goes on in the news, but I had no idea that Blake Shelton was married to Gwen Stefani at all. So, of course, Blake, listening to a girl sing a Gwen Stefani song, would get his attention, but this girl could sing, so naturally, he turned around. But the funniest thing about the audition is that, well, for starters, no one else turned around, so she immediately went to Team Blake. But the funniest thing is when Kelly asked, Lily, how old she is. She's like 15. She says 15, and everyone in the audience is like, wow. Kelly's like, you're a baby. You're a baby. And then Blake's like, we're gonna win! That got me. That actually really got me good. So that was fun. All 3 blocks have been... Okay, so apparently now I know that each coach gets 1 block and only 1 block, not 1 block for each coach. So, yeah, so 4 altogether, and all 4 blocks have been used. And 3 of them are used against John Legend. And so John ultimately got his revenge on the very last performance of the evening. He blocked Adam. So yeah, it was funny. Again, that's honestly the biggest strength and also the biggest flaw of The Voice, because again, the blind auditions, the witty banter sometimes you get between the coaches, the conversations, those things like that, they're honestly what I think are the best part of the show. So, when they actually get to the eliminations, everything like that, again, I'm not entirely sure if I'll watch that stuff, but as of right now, I can definitely tell you that I'm entertained by what I see. And considering that, you have something going on Monday, and have something going on Tuesday, you now actually have something to sort of, fill the gap in the week. in a way, it's sort of like a subtle metaphor for, you know, a restaurant having to pay rent, you know. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday takes care of itself. If you can find something to entertain yourself on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you know, you're 90% of the way there, you know. That's not exactly 90%, but you get the idea. What else happened on The Voice last night that was any good? Oh, right. The very first trio to ever appear on The Voice. I mean, obviously they had solos and they've had duets, but a trio, that's never happened before. So Blake ended up getting the first trio in Voice history. So I thought that was really cool. Let's see what else happened. Oh, right. The opening act, his name was Dominic. He gets on there, and this is the guy that you know, this is when Adam blocked John. So Adam eventually ended up getting him. But John turned around, and he's jamming for like a good 30 to 45 seconds before he realized he was blocked. It's always one of those oh dang moments where you're like, yeah, this is awesome. Then you see what happens, you're like, oh. So yeah. A lot of funny stuff happened on The Voice last night. You know, I I honestly can't wait till next Monday now to keep watching more of the auditions. Again, not entirely sure if I'll watch the entirety of the show, but it does give me something to, it does keep me entertained, and I do appreciate that greatly. And obviously, I'll tell you, if I hear or see someone that I like, don't get me wrong, I liked a lot of people who've been on there so far. In fact, I haven't really seen a bad performance. In fact, to be perfectly honest, even when the chairs don't turn, and it's happened. It's actually happened several times throughout the course of the last 2 nights. Even when, no chairs turn around, it's not a bad performance. The judges legitimately have good things to say about the performance that they didn't turn for, which is kind of... Honestly, I would think that's yeah, if you thought that was good, why don't you turn around for that? But then again, I'm the kind of guy who, I swear, if I was on The Voice and I would immediately, be singing, I'd be in my groove, and then I see one of the judges turn around, I'd be it would sort of throw me off a little bit. Because I will admit, I can get distracted easily if under the right circumstances. So, again, that's always been my biggest flaw with, performing. I've never had a bad performance. Ever. At least, no one's ever walked up to me and said you were terrible. But, I will admit that something can and will distract me if it's the worst possible time at the wrongest possible moment. Which, it happens. I guess it really would test my ability to be a good performer if I could just keep going after something like that happens, because that is the mark of a true performer. The worst possible thing can happen, but you're still just, keep on going with the show. Just keep going along. Keep going, don't stop. It's a minor hiccup. If the rest of the show is good, nobody's going to notice. Or they will, they probably just won't talk about it as much. So, yeah. Oh, boy. I'm so sad, guys. Tonight's the last episode of The Masked Singer. It's the peacock, the monster, and the bee. Now, I guess this would make for a good opportunity. That's what I'll do. I think I'll make one final guess for each individual that's underneath the costumes. And then tomorrow we'll see if I was right. Or, if you're watching and if you're playing along, we'll see if you guys are right as well. That'd be really cool. So, since the peacock was the very first, costume celebrity to sing, I think I'll start with the peacock. I know that it's a guy. it's clearly someone who has experience singing. And it's definitely somebody with a little bit of flair. Now, they do keep alluding to magic, which makes me think maybe it's someone like Chris Angel or, who's that other? I can't think of the other. There's another musician, but I can't think of who his name is. Darn, what's his name? But, like, and it would make sense if it was, like, someone like Chris Angel, because they have been, like, Vegas before. So, oh, David Blaine, that's what I'm thinking of, David Blaine. And, you know, it does take a lot of skill to be a performer in any category, and, you know, if it was Chris Angel or David Blaine under the peacock mask, it would definitely show that they're more than just, you know, magicians. That'd be really cool. But with that said, I think I'm going to go with someone I know who's performed many a time, someone who actually does have a very good voice, and someone who is actually known for singing. Excuse me. And I think the peacock is Neil Patrick Harris. I think it is Neil Patrick Harris. I think it would make sense just because of, you know, there's a bravado to it, a little bit of you know, experience to the voice. You know, so yeah, my guess is Neil Patrick Harris for the peacock. Now for the monster's been really hard. In fact, of the 3 finalists, the monster is easily the one who's been the most difficult to pin down in terms of who everyone thinks it is. Now, some of the judges have gone on to think it's someone like maybe Roy Jones, or, you know, Little John, or Jamie Foxx. But I was actually watching, not this past monster performance, but the performance before when, the monster was doing I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett, which, I'm just gonna say right now, that and the monster doing Stay With Me, which I will admit got me all misty-eyed. They've been the best performances so far. So I've been looking at the comments section because, you know, thank you, YouTube. And a lot of people are guessing it's T-Pain. And after hearing the voice, I think it's also T-Pain. I mean, T-Pain does have good vocals, but he's known for using auto-tune a lot. If T-Pain ended up winning this would be a huge sort of, you know, huge thing, because again, T-Pain's known for using auto-tune. The fact he's winning a singing competition without using auto-tune at all, that would be really awesome. So yeah, that's my guess on the monster. I am guessing that the monster is T-Pain. And now finally we get to the bee. Now, from the very beginning, the bee has been a favorite of mine. You know, this is obviously a very much older singer. And the bee mentioned that she has been performing since around the 50s. Now, again, one guess I had during the clues that she was presenting once was she showed a bunch of waffles on the table. Now, with that said, and being a fan of Man vs. Food, I actually remember the episode of Man vs. Food where Adam Richman was in Atlanta and she went to Gladys Knight's house of chicken and waffles, home of the Midnight Train, which is the chicken and waffles recipe. So you know what? I'm guessing that's Gladys Knight. Which, man, that would be so awesome if that was the case. But it is what it is. So yes, my final guesses before the finale are Neil Patrick Harris as the peacock, T-Pain as the monster, and Gladys Knight as the bee. Although, feel free to, you know, maybe you guys, but again, you know, watch the other videos. They're all up on YouTube. Maybe you guys can guess something that I simply couldn't. Wouldn't hurt. So anyway, I should probably get going. It is snowing like crazy. Not like crazy. I mean, it's snowing and it's coming in the form of a shower, but it's, for the most part, fresh powder as of right now. It's not really going to get worse until a little bit later. But, yeah, this is a great way to enter March, by the way. And we still have a couple days until March. Man, I hope Readers doesn't do what they did a year ago where they closed. But if it does, if it happens, it happens. So, like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. I can release this on YouTube. Follow me on the social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. As always, I am very humbled that I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I am very hopeful that we all have a wonderful hump day. And remember, if you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. And I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices.